Good evening, good people. Yeah, I'm gonna say good morning after good evening. But y'all know what time it is, baby. It's AA Sports, straight sports, no chaser. And you got the super team of sports talk here with y'all on one half of it. Diego Berishnikov, the Black Dominican Russian. You're checking in with my main man, my partner in crime. Y'all know him. 6 foot and under post-up champ. Tell us who you are.
What's good, good people? It's your boy Uncle Hate, the other A in AA Sports, broadcasting live here on a Wednesday. I got my mind on my money, and I got my money on next week. We got a load management week off. What's good?
Yes, we will be on vacation next week, people. So this particular episode here, 176 or 177, one of the two. I think it's 177.
Been pretty consistent, homie.
Yeah, y'all can marinate on this one for the next week, 1 week and a half. We're gonna take like he said, a load management week next week due to the 4th of July.
Yes,
so
sir.
It's only right. It's a nice time to break up the action, and we'll be back to y'all when free agency is settled down and we know where some of these cats is going. So of course we're gonna talk
about football soon.
Absolutely, training camp is around the corner, so we'll be talking about NBA free agency, of course. I'm sure we probably get some predictions as to where we think some of these guys are going. We'll also recap the draft as well. But as always, before we get started and go any further, we'd like to appreciate all y'all that tune in to us every week, whether it's on one of the podcast platforms, iTunes or Spreaker, or whether you like to watch us on the YouTube channel. Continue to do so. Y'all consistent, we consistent, everybody consistent. It's a happy marriage. We appreciate y'all. Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
All right, so those of you guys that are not newcomers, you know how we start this thing off. Open bar segment, something like the news. Uncle Hayes going to share with us some retarded shit that he's seen over the internet over the course of the last week or so since we last talked to y'all last week. So, hey, I know it's summertime. People get ignorant during the summer. What you got this week?
I got a lot of teaching stories this week. Focus on them. All right. This first one is in regards to one of the teachers from the Atlanta public school cheating crisis is coming home early. Her name is Angela Williamson. She wasn't supposed to get out till September 23rd, 2020, but they let her go as of June 4th. Initially at the time, I was like, okay, they got to give this woman these women real time for this. But, I guess they claim bonuses and whatnot after that cheating. So at least they let her come home after the fact. But the other lady, 2 of them went to jail already. One of them, Tamara Cotman, she's still sitting in jail right now. I wonder if they get money off of that movie they're going to make about them. Because there's a movie coming out about the public school cheating crisis. They should get some bread. They got to use their likeness, their names and stuff.
Yeah.
Should.
If they're using their names, then they definitely should, get a cut unless they put something in the
teaching contracts.
In the deal, in the jail sentence or deal, whatever. Well, none of them pleaded. I don't think none of them pleaded out.
Nah.
But maybe, unless they put something in there that says that they can't be compensated or profit rather off of anything, or they may just the movie makers may just use how do they do it? Based on
a true story. Yeah.
Loosely on a true story.
Loosely. There you go. That's the word.
Character names and everything. So if they do that, then they're not gonna have to pretty much cut them off shit.
All right, another teaching story. An Indiana teacher was accused of possessing child pornography and pleaded guilty. Her name is Carrie Buchanan. Her and a student were exchanging pictures. She got 2 years in jail and a year of probation. Now, here's my problem with this. Once she's out of jail, 45 days after her probation's up, she can get reinstated as a teacher. How, Sway? How?
She got to probably register as a sex offender, but she can get a teaching job.
Does that make any sense?
0.
Now, I wonder if this chick who just got out of Atlanta jail, can she get her license back after the fact? I know it's state dependent, but that just don't make no sense. This chick is sitting there sending nude pictures with a child and she gonna get her teaching license back.
I mean, she gonna get a license all day, but is anybody gonna hire her?
I mean, you know, with some lazy places, don't be checking references in some cases. So, all right, my boss by the name of Rocco Morabito, he has been on the run since 1994. He escaped from prison in Uruguay. They were holding him for extradition to Italy. When they caught him, he had 13 phones, 12 debit cards, a cell phone, $50,000 in cash, and some Uruguayan money as well. They're not catching this dude. He been in jail, and he got off. They might as well hang that up. He's not coming up again.
He been on the run since 94?
Been on the run since 94. They finally caught him in 2017. He ain't coming up again.
So he escaped again?
Yeah, he escaped again. He was on the run since 94. They caught him in 2017. He just escaped recently.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a wrap. They ain't catching him.
It might be another 20 years before they next time they see him, it'll be in a casket probably.
Absolutely. All right. We're 40 years old. We don't join the old and wash club. I was reading a story about these old dudes who got into a dispute at a golf course and got to shooting. 5 dudes. Yeah, at a golf course. 2 of the dudes that got killed were 78. Well, one was 78 and the other one was 70. They had a long-standing beef. What in the entire fuck are you still mad about? Y'all in y'all 70s, and it's still on site when they see each other.
Bussing.
I'm not laughing at these dudes dying, but that's like real beef right there. In your 70s, fam.
Oh man, they couldn't take care of that at the Kroger on the Senior Citizen Day or something. You know?
Come on, real beef. Well, everybody's dead now, so that's tough. This one here is kind of interesting. A young man had applied for a job out of Gwinnett County. He applied for the job, and the job called him like, "Well, we went and verified your references. Come to find out, you didn't graduate high school. You didn't pass the science portion of your test, of the graduation test." Now, this cat been out of high school 3 years. His name is Nasir Harris. He went to Shiloh. Mm-hmm. And he was initially he got a real diploma when he crossed the stage, but he was only supposed to get, I guess, one of them certificates of attendance because he ended up taking the graduation test again after the ceremony, but he never heard back from him whether or not he passed yay and nay. So the Gwinnett County school system is holding up his diploma and said, "Well, you got that in error. You weren't supposed to get it." I've been out of high school 3 years, and you want me to go take the science part of the graduation test again? Because the science portion, it'd be different if it's math or English. Science.
So that's what he had to do to get his diploma.
Yes, that's what he has to do. And they're holding the job up. They're saying, "All right, well, you got a week to get this resolved." I ain't even know jobs called about high school diplomas. A college diploma, I get a degree, but a high school diploma?
So he been out of high school 3 years.
Apply for a new job, and they check references.
Right. So they found out he didn't graduate.
Right.
And he didn't graduate because he didn't take or pass the science portion of the graduation test.
Didn't pass the science portion.
So in a week's time, he's supposed to get in contact with the school board, set up to take this test, pass it, and get the grade back within a week.
That's not going to happen.
Not happening.
Yeah, so that's tough shit right there. All right, speaking of schools, I think I got one more about a school. All right, you remember that shooting down in Florida where the guy the guy didn't go in there, the resource officer, when the guy was shooting? Did you hear all those charges they put on him?
The Parkland school, I think it was Parkland school.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Did you hear about all them charges they put on him?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, they put him on criminal charges. Where are this at? He got 11 charges, including child neglect, culpable negligence, perjury for lying about not knowing the guy was in there shooting. My question to you is being a coward criminal?
In this case, it should be.
Okay, because, he was trained to do it. Now, this guy is facing 100 years in jail for this. They are going after him.
That seems, I don't want to, I can't use the word overkill. That would be insensitive.
Yeah. Yes.
I
just don't know if that's criminal to be a coward. I don't know.
Yeah. Let me be honestly being a coward. No, it's not criminal, but at the same time,
He's supposed to go in there and see about them kids.
no,
He had a gun. He was trained.
exactly. He's on the outside being scared.
Yeah.
So whatever he got coming to him, I ain't got no sympathy for him.
Yeah. They're gonna see about him because that's a hot button down there. All right, speed this up. Couple of Utah high school football players did a video burning a gay pride flag saying death to all gays. Um, Look, young men, y'all gonna stop putting stuff on social media, what y'all do. It's not working out well for you. Um, just not smart. That's really not smart. Feel how you want to feel. Keep it inside. But to post a video doing this, that don't make no damn sense. We get on here every week and tell y'all not to do videos, but you keep doing them. So at some point you're gonna learn. At some point. Let's get to the one you sent me. Let's talk about this dumbass woman, this mother, who played chicken with her kids in a car.
Mm-hmm.
The young lady's name, where is her name at? Lexus Stagg. She was playing with 3 of her children where she was legit running a car, playing chicken with them, coming at them with a car, and they were supposed to move out the way. Well, first couple times it went well. The last time she ended up hitting and later killing her 3-year-old child. They got to put her up under the jail. Whatever happened to playing with a water gun? Playing tag with your kids, duck, duck, goose, dodgeball. You are legit running an SUV at your kids thinking it's a game. Does that make any sense at all?
Zero.
I don't even have much to say on that. That's just plumb ridiculous. Plumb ridiculous. All right, last few. We talked about animals last week, so I've got 2 more animal stories. An old couple in England, they're trying to get out their house. It's 2 seagulls on their deck, and they're nesting, and they had babies. Every time they try to open the front door, the seagulls attack them, like every time. So they're stuck in the house. They can only go out through the garage, and the seagulls won't let them close. They'll let them go, but they can't close the garage. So the problem is seagulls are a protected animal. So they called out animal control, and they was like, yeah, this is the problem. That sucks. You can't go out your front door, but we can't do nothing about it, and you can't do nothing to them. So they're stuck in their house. They can't go out their front door because birds are attacking them. Next up, another animal story. And I got one more about teaching and we out the door. A young lady was in Oregon trying to move some groceries in the car. Her 10-month-old child was in the car. She goes in, takes a couple bags, comes back out. It's a cougar, like a cat, a cougar, like at her front door. And it's growling and hissing. And every time she makes a move, the cat growls. So she has to go in the crib, call the police. Her baby's still in the car. This cat is legit not moving. The folks had to come out. The folks had to put the cat down. Cat still was wilding when they got there. So this is another week that we have animals, controlling bad, performing badly during the summertime. So keep your head on swivel for these wild ass seagulls and these cougars running up on people. All right, last story for the night. Do this one quickly. In Mississippi, they are losing 236 out of 241 teachers out of the Jackson Public Schools because they had a program in hand where you can get your certificate to teach the first year, but you have to keep working towards, it's another program where you have to keep going to get certification to keep going. Well, they weren't abiding by this, and they come back later on, the school board comes back and checks these teacher certification, and nobody had it. So they had to let go of 236 teachers. Now here's the kick. Yeah. And they already, from what I understand, they said it was already a crunch as far as with getting teachers hired in that area. So they said the teachers would go from earning $283 a day to $85 a day before taxes. Before taxes, that 85 gonna probably drop down to about $55, give or take. So yeah, the other 103, it was 236 that was stepping away. 131 said they're going to try to stay on and be substitutes long term. But they said the school board said this ain't nothing new. They just didn't read the fine print. They didn't do what they supposed to do. If y'all ain't got no teachers, what's going to happen in 2 months?
I mean, yeah, school like right around the corner.
Yeah. So y'all might have should have like had some emails, some memos, something going around. Somebody checking into this, like, hey, y'all got y'all certification, y'all good? School coming up.
Or check the shit before you hire them, maybe. I don't know.
Well, they like I said, they did the 1 year certification because it's hard to get teachers nowadays. I mean, they don't make no money, so they let them do the certification to get on the first year. But you have to continue the education. You have to get certified normally in like a year or two. I think a year or 3 they said to keep going. These teachers was like, I'm in, so I ain't paying it no mind or whatever.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it didn't work out.
200 of them? Is this assessment? I'm assuming they have to pay for it out of their own pocket.
I'm assuming, but I mean, somebody, the superintendent of that district got to be drinking Crown, nervous as hell right now, trying to figure out what he gonna do to get teachers in there.
These superintendents and these counties of these public school systems are straight trash, man. A lot of them. Because this shit don't be making no sense, man.
I don't want to be a jerk about it, but again, some of these dudes we went to school with, they teachers. And I don't think they should be teachers, but they are. So I'll leave it at that.
On that note, all right, we appreciate Uncle Hay giving us the rundown on something like the news this week. Always good stuff that he got coming to us every week. So keep that up. We appreciate you. All right, so let's get into it. Like I said, we ain't got much tonight, man. We got some free agency talk. We're going to start with this draft first, I guess.
Yeah, we don't know all these dudes, so we really just gonna. I mean, what'd you like about it? I mean, shout out to the Hawks. I'm happy what we did.
Yeah, the Hawks had a pretty good draft. We ended up with Cam Reddish at the 10th pick, and then we moved up to the 4th pick. Not sure how this all is going to finalize officially, but it's in the mix with the Lakers and the Pelicans trade. So we ended up with the 4th pick. The Lakers have drafted DeAndre Hunter for us. So we ended up with DeAndre Hunter and Cam Reddish to pair with already our young core, Trae Young, John Collins, Kevin Huerter. We were able to move Kent Bazemore to Portland in exchange for Evan Turner. Even swap money-wise, both kind of mediocre cats, but
I kind of feel like we're going to play Turner at backup point.
No, we have to because we have no backup point. So, yeah, that's
exactly. Weren't they playing Bembry at that? And I kind of like Bembry a lot.
Exactly. We don't have a backup point. So, and I like Bembry too, but he was the de facto point. So that's what Turner's here for. So I'm here for it. Other teams that did pretty decent in the draft, of course, the Pelicans got Zion number 1. Watching that young man kind of tell, his story after the draft with that interview with Maria Taylor. I mean,
she did good with the interviewing this draft.
And how could you not like this kid, man? I mean, somebody who he knew he was going number 1 damn near pretty much all year. And, and still he was overcome with to me was pretty genuine emotion about the moment. And I like to see that out of young guys. I
love the draft.
Yeah,
I love the sports drafts because I love seeing those. It's not always single mothers, but it's a lot of them, and they putting in their work with them kids, and it finally pays off for them. So I love the drafts for that purpose alone. Shout out to Zion. Impressive young man. It's a lot on him. I don't think it's as much as Bron, but it's a lot on him coming in.
It is. And luckily, he's coming into a small market team like the Pelicans, so that it won't be as much media hype. It's going to be media hype because it's him, but he don't have to deal with an LA or New York market like his buddy RJ Barrett's going to have to deal with. Now RJ seems to be he's embracing this shit full fledged from the time his name was called. I done seen him on more promo stuff and things than I have Zion.
Bruh, they bringing him in with more fanfare than they brought Melo in. And we're talking about prime Melo. He's everywhere. RJ is everywhere. Now, truth be told, coming out of high school, RJ was the number 1 pick. He was the number 1 high school player. He was the one supposed to go number 1 this year. Zion just eclipsed him while they were at Duke together. But The Knicks, my team, well, one of my teams outside the Hawks, we needed a little bit of good news because I don't know if we're gonna have no more next week. So,
Yeah, it's
RJ's embracing it.
RJ is probably that might be the best thing to happen to y'all for a while.
I think so.
We'll talk about it later on in free agency, but
what do you think about Garland with Cleveland?
He played 5 games.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know nothing about him, but I guess I would have been trying to move off that spot because I mean, you got Sexton. I keep hearing that's Dame and CJ. How's that working out? They both small.
Right, but
I mean, I guess you had to take best available at that point, I guess.
Well, I mean, well, you look at Dame and CJ, Portland's problem isn't necessarily them. It's the fact that they don't have other things around them that they need.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if Cleveland wants to go that route, then fine. But, I mean, it's Cleveland. I don't see much happening out of this team. No time in the near future. So we'll see. I mean, he played 5 games. He had some pretty decent numbers in the 5 games that he played before he got shut down with an MCL injury, I think it was. So
that's about how many Kyrie played, right? Give or take.
In college, yeah, give or take, yeah.
All right, I guess the biggest surprise, Cam Johnson, going number 11 from our University of North Carolina Tar Heels. Did James Jones draft his mini-me? Because James Jones, old boy, he's running Phoenix. Old boy used to play with Bron.
Yeah.
He's pretty much Cam Johnson. That's the same player.
Oh, okay. I'm looking at the Minnesota thing. Yeah, okay. He's being traded to Phoenix. Minnesota's
Culver's going to Minnesota.
He's going to get Culver. So James, Cam, yeah, he kind of can. He's kind of in a mold of a James Jones. Now that you say that, I mean, he's a great 3-point shooter. Not very athletic at all.
No, he grown. He's what, 23? Yeah, that's a man walking in there.
Right. So you kind of know what you're gonna get for him. The only problem with Cam Johnson is you don't have the potential or the high ceiling thing with him. What you see now is pretty much what you're gonna get, which could be a solid pro. Is it going to be end up being a lottery pick kind of talent? That's going to remain to be seen. But hey, he
everywhere we were seeing him, 20 and below, they couldn't have traded back to get him. This almost feels like that Daniel Jones situation with the Giants. It's like they heard some shit. Like, we got to take him now. I mean,
yeah. I mean, but they say too. If that's your guy, go get him. Because I look at the rest of this from the rest of the first round after him. And, it's a bunch of
I don't know these dudes.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So
now they did get Dario Saric in that trade. That's a solid stretch for, he's a Euro. He's under contract. They're going to play him next to Ayton. He shoots the 3. So, I mean, I guess if you're getting, them two in that trade, so be it. But we're not expecting a lot out of Phoenix anytime soon. So, it is what it is. I guess the last thing I got on this first round, this draft, Nasir Little really dropped, and I wasn't expecting him to drop all the way at 25. But he came up, though. That's a good spot for him, going to Portland.
Yeah, going to Portland. I think he's got a chance to kind of maybe do some things for them. He'll probably start the season off playing behind Bazemore, I'm assuming. Bazemore and Harkless. If Harkless is still there, if they don't move him between now and the start of the season. But yeah, he's in a pretty decent spot. After you want to see your guys go in the lottery, especially when they went early and they probably should have come back to school.
Yep.
But when they drop, I guess the saving grace you can say, well, at least they went to a good team. I thought Boston or the Spurs were gonna scoop him up. Well, but it didn't happen. But he's in Portland, which I think could be a pretty good situation.
Utah traded their pick when they got Conley last week. I'm pretty sure had he kept dropping, Golden State wouldn't have let him go. They would have picked him up. But good spot. FYI, spoiler alert: the further you drop in the draft, you kind of go to good teams. So it kind of works out well in the long run. I'm just glad he didn't drop down to that second round where his money wasn't guaranteed. Kind of like Bowl. But at least his money was guaranteed. So you get to work. You know, they got some solid young players in Portland, so we're gonna see what happens with them for sure.
Right. You know, and you know, if you go back and look at the last however many years of the draft, she can go to any given year pretty much, especially recently.
Yep.
And you know, you may have 4 or 5 dudes out of the whole first round that actually end up panning out.
You being
You know,
kind. It's mostly 2 to 3.
you know, to be like an all-star caliber player.
Yeah, and that's the baseline, all-star.
Right.
You know,
you would probably find if you were to split it between lottery picks and then the rest of the first round, you will find probably more solid guys that were not in the lottery pan out in the lottery players. Because again, these teams are drafting on potential. Most of these kids have played 1, maybe 2 years in school. You know, the kids that stay 3 and 4 years, they seem to get picked later on in the draft, you know, because they don't have the high ceiling. You look at some, I'm sitting here thinking about it now. Thinking back a couple years, Oregon. Remember Oregon was in the Final Four with
had all them adults.
Jordan Bell and Dylan Brooks.
Yeah.
Dylan Brooks was solid at Oregon. End of the first round, second round, maybe somewhere he was drafted.
Yeah.
Tell me who he played for right now.
I want to say he's in Memphis. I want to say I could be wrong.
But
one more thing
on the G League, right?
Yeah. One more thing on this first round of this draft. The Washington Wizards. Shout out to them. I got to give you guys a shout out because had y'all had a GM in place 9 times out of 10, Cam Reddish wouldn't have fell to the Atlanta Hawks at 10. I'm not even going to waste my time trying to pronounce the young man's name from Oregon. Ryu.
Gonzaga.
I'm sorry. Yeah, Gonzaga. Yeah,
Ryu Hachimura.
Yeah, that fella. Okay, here's the kick. I didn't know this until you hit me like later on that night. He never spoke to anybody. Like nobody. Not a scout, not a coach.
They never worked him out, never interviewed it, never called him on the phone, never slid in his DMs. Just drafted him.
Cause how do you draft somebody you ain't never spoke to? Like ever.
In the lottery. In the lottery.
Hey,
yeah, that should be fun. Washington
is Wes Unseld still alive? He made that pick. I'm trying to think of other famous Washington Wizards. Who made that pick?
Calvin Chaney.
Calvin Chaney made that pick.
George Mirasan.
Kwame Brown came back to make that pick for him.
Yeah, so that was a little and it wasn't too much of a reach because he was
solid. First part of the year.
Yeah, but I'm saying he was kind of scheduled to go in the lottery anyway, so that one wasn't too much of a reach. But it was the slight reach that we needed in order for somebody like Cam Reddish to fall to us. Also thought that the Pelicans, and this is a trade situation.
Raise a glass to them.
Jackson Hayes, getting him that high. I mean, a rim runner, he's kind of a light-skinned Capella. I'm leery of them kind of dudes, man, because as we've seen, and I'll just use Capella as an example, in the playoffs, them kind of dudes can be shut out, man.
Only thing he did well that you told me, I was like, well, shit, can he shoot free throws? Because he could stay on the court if he could shoot free throws, maybe. He's like, he does do that well. But I like what we got in the second round. We got the center from Maryland. We ain't going to have to pay him as much. He do the same thing. He's a rim runner. So it worked out well for us. You know, these projections I keep hearing saying that if everything works out, Cam Reddish has the possibility of being Paul George, because I'm here for it. If that works out, I'm here for it.
We've got some good wings, man, which is another reason we had to get rid of Bazemore, because you think about it now, we got Reddish, we got Kevin Huerter still there. People forget Alan Crabb, Mr. DUI.
Yeah. Uber.
Got a DUI last night out in L.A. And we still have somebody else. Oh, Bembry's still there.
Yeah.
So, we coming up. Anything else stick out to you in this draft?
I'm done with the draft. I guess this next thing real quick. Shout out to David Griffin for that GM masterclass. That's flipping a crumb to a brick. One dude, and you get this entire haul. One dude. Anthony Davis turned into Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram, Josh Hart, the number 8 pick, the number 17 pick, and all those future picks. I didn't know we gave him a future pick in regards to moving up. I think it's some protections on it. We gave him that Cavs pick, which will probably be pretty decent because they're not winning no time soon. But that's pretty solid, man. And we took Solomon Hill off of them, so now they got $30 million in cap space.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The only thing with the, I mean, you got a lot of picks, but you look at what Danny Ainge did with all them picks. It hasn't. At the end of the day, what did they really get out of it?
He wasn't aggressive.
You still got to get players. You really don't know how these trades work out until you found out in the long run how these guys actually pan out. So
right,
yeah, they got all those picks, but where are those picks going to be? Who are they going to draft? And do you have the talent evaluators and the coaching to make sure that those picks actually equate to something?
This is the one thing that Zion has that Bron did not have.
Hmm.
It wasn't half of this team when Bron got to Cleveland. What do you have? Darius Miles, Ricky Davis.
Yeah,
I can't think nobody else.
Yeah, I think they had more vets on that team.
Yeah,
when he came into the league, if I'm not mistaken, like Ilgauskas was still there.
Eric Snow might have been there.
Yeah, I can't think of anybody else, but this is a good situation, like you said, for Zion, because they got Lonzo, Brandon Ingram, and Josh Hart, and I think Lonzo is going to do wonders for Zion, especially while he kind of works out his perimeter game.
Yeah, learning the league. Drew Holiday's still there. What's his name? Okafor done lost weight. He was solid for them last year. They picked up the young boy to be the rim runner. They got themselves in position to be okay for the future. But like you said, they got to develop these cats and they got to make the right moves. Because having cap space and having a whole lot of draft picks ain't shit if you don't do nothing with it. Nothing at all. So
yeah, because we talk about all the time. We talk about guys that they have talent, but they need the right coaching to bring the talent out.
Right.
So I mean, you got to have that. So I mean, Alvin Gentry, he's a solid dude. He don't take no bullshit. Is he a developer of players, though?
I don't know about that one.
That we're going to have to see.
Yeah, they picked up that 1 year option, but that's going to be a hot job. It's what's that Biggie song? Folks is waiting and praying on my downfall. People want that job in New Orleans now, so
Yep.
Playoff team?
This year, no.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, they got too much. They still very young. They gotta work some things out. I mean, you look at the West. I mean, let's count the locks for the playoffs real quick, or what we think should be locks. Houston.
Yeah.
Golden State.
Yeah.
The Lakers.
Yeah.
OKC.
Yeah.
Portland.
Yeah.
Utah.
Yeah. How many we up to?
That's 6 right there. That's 6 right there.
Sacramento was right there last year.
Denver. That's 7.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's going to take a lot to get to the playoffs this year.
Absolutely. So we'll see what happens. Quick note I saw the other day. I thought they said Depot was going to be out a long time. December, January ain't that bad. I thought they were talking like 18 months.
Because he got hurt around December, January, right? I think, it was January.
I thought they were saying his knee was like destroyed, but that's not bad coming back December, January. So that's a pretty good look for Indiana to get him back. So shout out to him on that.
If he can really make it back by that time.
Yeah, that was a tough injury. Masai Ujiri said that he's going to stay in Toronto. Not surprised. You do know the bag is coming at some point. We don't know how much, but they're going to pay.
They have to break him off.
If Washington had 10 on the table, they got to come with the same 10.
More or not more.
Yeah. I heard them Canadian taxes is something serious. So they might come with the 12 on that one.
That's what I'm thinking, 12. 12.
All right. The NBA is considering making changes to the season schedule, not this year, but I want to say it's 2021 or somewhere later on. They're talking about possibly shaving the schedule down to 58 games, doing some type of tournament. How long we been saying the season don't need to start till Christmas? I don't know about this tournament they talking about, this open invitation, but
this,
I don't know about that.
Yeah, this a mid-season cup playing. I don't
I
know
don't,
about
I don't know about that
that.
part.
I don't know about that.
Start the season Christmas, and I'd ride that season to the end of July if it was me. You ain't competing with football. You got the whole month of June, whole month of July. We get through that. Voila, magic. It's football season. But I don't believe these owners gonna sit there and how they gonna make up their bread if you cutting down to 58 games.
Yeah, I'm not. I like the 82 games myself. I mean, if you want to give them more games in between, which they've already done a couple of times here over the last few years, but I personally I like the way that it is right now.
Yeah, that's pretty aggressive, and I think they're also looking at load management on that, saying, well, let's try to minimize the number of games so we can get everybody to play. If y'all had it to 58 games, these cats still taking time off. That's y'all kind of open Pandora's box on that, so you ain't putting it back in. They're gonna take time off. So,
and I don't think the cut the players sitting out games is as much of an issue as it was.
No, it wasn't,
because they put that. I think they started fining them if they set out certain televised games or whatever. You didn't really have that this year. You had Kawhi sitting out in games and some other players sitting out.
But it wasn't that bad. No,
it wasn't bad at all. So
shit, ain't nobody trying to watch a good team play Orlando on no Wednesday night. Y'all got to start addressing that shit on Wednesdays. I ain't trying to watch that crap at that 7 o'clock game on ESPN. That 7 o'clock game tend to be crap in most cases. Then I got to stay up late, watch that West Coast game. But, yeah, we're going to see how that plays.
But I guess the alternative is you got to put the lesser teams on TV to some degree. Because I also get tired of seeing the same 5 teams on TV every year.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm saying.
That's true.
So.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And with the Pelicans coming, shit, I might have to buy a league pass this year.
Oh, Zion gonna get some televised games. You ain't gonna have to trip. They're gonna be on TV a lot.
Yep.
So, hell, the Knicks might get some games with RJ. They just might. So, I mean, I think the teams that ain't nobody really trying to see. Well, they might play Ja Morant. He'll get a West Coast late game playing the Lakers or something. He'll be on TV, but that's a lot of advertising money tied up there. So I don't think they're just gonna be able to cut these games and their partners be cool. That's really. I think
I want to say, did you put it on the notes? I know I read that they said that the owners, for the most part, weren't feeling it. I mean, yeah, because it's gonna cut money. So,
man, you know how many beers they sell in them stadiums, and you supposed to bring that down from 82 to 58.
That's a lot of games to cut.
Yeah, T-shirts and parking and shit. Man, come on.
Because remember that one lockout year? Was it 99, I believe?
99. The year San Antonio's first title with Duncan.
Right. People talking about putting asterisks on some of these titles. That's the only one I'll put an asterisk by because of the season was so short. And that season, I think it was like 46, 48 games.
I want to say it started like right around Christmas.
Or maybe after. But it didn't seem like enough games at all.
Yeah.
It shit went by way too fast. So, if
we're
going to cut
what happens with it.
10 to 15 games at the most.
10
to 15 games at the most. So
absolutely.
they pushed the beginning of the season up into mid-October, where it used to be Halloween, basically.
Right.
Or they pushed it up a couple of weeks to spread some of the games out. But it is what it is. Like you said, football is king in fall time.
Yeah.
And most people, if you are a football and basketball head, you kind of don't really get into the basketball until December or so when the playoffs football start rolling around. So, I definitely get that theory.
Yeah. So, shout out to him for being progressive with the thinking, but everything don't always work out. Andre Iguodala went on the Breakfast Club this week, and I'm trying to think, is it a truth bomb that he dropped on Golden State?
Iggy poured gasoline all over the floor, lit a match, and ran.
Yeah. I don't even think he ran. I think he walked away.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, because, I mean, he got one more year. It's like guaranteed money.
He set the fire kind of like, remember Ghost thought he killed Kanan?
Right, he just walked away?
That's what he thought.
Yeah. Iggy been pushing a book, people, so he been on interviews everywhere. But the interview he did on the Breakfast Club, I ain't even gonna, the Mark Jackson situation, we kind of knew he just spoke to it. You know, I think you had told me initially because I've been the main cat. Like, man, why they want to talk to Mark Jackson? Why they want to talk to Mark Jackson? He's blackballed, dog. It's over. They ain't never gonna hire him.
Yeah,
And
it hurt. It hurt for Iggy to kind of put some validity to it. Yeah, confirm it. I was hoping it wasn't the case, but when you hear it directly from an NBA player, what can you do? Of course, people talking about Mark Jackson not getting the job. Iggy said that a lot of it has to do with some of it has to do with his religious takes or what have you. I think it's mostly
on gay marriage and stuff, and
his stance on gay marriage and what the Bible says in regards to that. And as you know, we're living in the times where all these companies and entities and organizations are trying to be progressive and inclusive. So that shit will not fly in this day and age.
And per his interview, you can't be having them feelings when one of the main dudes in charge of the Warriors is a homosexual. That just kind of didn't work out for you.
Yeah. And then in addition to that, let's get to the real goods.
Yeah, the real.
About. So he talked about KD's injury and also his injury last year. Talked about, how these training staffs try to rush these athletes back. He talked about how last year in the finals, Western Conference Finals, he was out 3 games, I believe it was.
And I remember him being hurt, but they did say that shit was a bone bruise. They did.
Bone bruise, and he said he was like, nah, my shit is fractured, it's broken, So, you got all this pressure to play, especially when wrong information is being put out there. And he said KD dealt with some of the same stuff. When we start talking about KD's injury when it happened, one of the main questions I was wanting to know was, yeah, he made a decision to come on out there, but did he make it based on being misdiagnosed or wrong information?
I think I wanted clarity on, did he have a second doctor on top of their doctor? Because you did say that from jump. You was like, okay, but what the doctor say from jump? Because I was like, well, shit, he didn't have to play. He really didn't have to play. But if they told him, yeah, you can go out there and you can't get hurt no more, that would have been iffy for me. I mean, I'm limping Sunday. You tell me I'm good Monday. I'm not going to get hurt no more. So, and I think you said it last week, like that's more of a determining factor than anything. If he can't trust their medical department, how you going to go back?
Hey, absolutely. And we saw what he did the day after the finals or whenever he went. He didn't go back to Golden State with them. He went to New York and got his own opinion.
Whose team doctor that is, right? That's the Knicks team doctor.
Right.
I ain't saying he going there, but he trusted their team doctor more than Golden State's people to do his Achilles surgery. That's
right. And that kind of answers that question that you just asked a few minutes ago for me. Maybe I'm wrong. If he did that, I don't think he had his own doctors in place to give him an opinion.
I said that the other week we were talking. I just can't believe he got that many smart people around him, and nobody told him, nah, sit down. That was hard for me to believe. Nobody said nothing.
Yeah.
Just go with the team.
Right.
We'll never know the truth fully because he ain't said nothing.
I'm going to say at some point, if he leaves Golden State,
you think we'll get it?
I think we'll find out.
Okay.
He will talk.
Okay.
At some point, he's gonna have to have a sit down conversation with Rachel Nichols or somebody.
Yeah, she gets to the bottom of stuff now. Yeah,
real quick. Yeah, so we'll find out eventually. We'll find out.
Hey, but bro, how does Iggy walk back in to like the facility in September?
Iggy don't give a fuck. Iggy came into the league what 03, 04?
It was a long time ago. He played with Allen Iverson. Allen Iverson been gone a long time, people.
He played with Iverson in Philly. Okay. So, we remember – I remember Iggy being – after Iverson left, Iggy was like the main dude on that team.
Yeah.
That's what you say. That's a long time ago. People are like, huh? Iggy? Yes.
Hey.
Iggy was averaging like 20-plus a game, I want to say.
Yes. Made an all-star team. I want to say he got traded. He was in the trade for Andrew Bynum and Dwight Howard because he ended up in Denver. Right. Andrew ended up in Philly, and Andrew Bynum has been gone a very long time, people. So Iggy has been around. So
you've been around, but no, he walked back into the building the same way he left it. His head up. What's up, y'all? I don't think he gives a shit
No.
He got 1 year, 17 mil left.
Yeah, they can't trade him. I mean, what you gonna trade for a dude you know retiring? What? You know?
Unless somebody trying to get some cap space for next year.
Yeah.
Which we'll talk about it here in a second. The free agent class next year.
Yeah, it's no bueno.
Why do you need a lot of cap space?
But what I'm waiting on to happen, I'm waiting on Steph to cape up for him. Somebody gonna speak up saying, "Hey, I trust our training department." Ain't nobody said shit so far. I'm expecting it to happen.
Yeah. We'll see at some point what happened. Yeah, but that was very telling for him to come out and say that. I wonder what Boogie got to say about this.
That's a good question. I mean, let me ask you this. Game 6 that was. If what's the daddy name? If Michael Thompson went back there, would they have let Clay run back out there on that court? Because he wanted to go back out there.
I don't think so. I mean, no, I don't think so. Not after Durant just went down the game before.
Okay.
Yeah, and even if they would have, I mean, yeah, Clay was out there bouncing and jumping up and down and what have you, looking like he wanted to play. But as soon as he would have tried to go up and down that court one good time, he would have had to come out.
Yeah, that's the worst thing that can happen, people. When the athletes lose trust in the medical department, that's kind of what sank the ship in San Antonio with Kawhi.
Right.
When that happens, you're kind of in trouble. So we're going to see what happens with this. They get Clay back in February. They're going to be all right. So, well, they got to sign these dudes first. So we'll talk about that in a minute. All right, the NBA awards, they kind of went the way we thought they would. I'm still kind of pissed off about Trae Young only getting two votes out of 100 for Rookie of the Year. Luka was not that dominating. Two votes. That's it. 2 out of 100, cuz.
The first place votes, yeah. He didn't get a lot of first place votes. But we knew what was gonna happen. Because once it's gonna be the same thing with Zion. It's almost like I'll use this analogy. It's almost like in boxing, if you fighting the champ, you got to go out there and whoop the champ ass. If it's even, they're gonna defer to the champ.
So basically, you saying Luka was up on points in about the 7th round. He coasted.
I mean, they give these number one picks and these guys the hype before they come in, before the season start. And then after that, unless they just fall clean off, somebody else has to, pass them by a long shot in order to take over. Yeah. And I wanted Trae Young to win. He was my Rookie of the Year because I thought his second half of the season was outstanding. But I know the way that these voters vote, and they were going to look at it. Luka was our darling coming in.
Yes, he was. They like them Euros, people.
He was
Euro balls. They're going to get the acclaim.
He was consistent from start to finish, and Trae had a little bit of a slow start, and I felt that was going to do him in. But like you said, I didn't expect the voting to be that far apart like it was.
Especially when the numbers were really close. Really close at the end of the season, but numbers can be inflated. They should have had a sucker award to the Houston Rockets media team for that tweet they put out there talking about how James Harden should have won after the fact. He lost, man. Y'all should have just shouted out, Giannis and kept it moving. I thought Giannis should have won it the whole time. You had Harden, didn't you?
I had Harden because I like what Harden did when Chris Paul went out in December and the Rockets were in the bottom half of the West, and what Harden did with whatever was it 30-something games he went scoring 30-plus points and got them and vaulted them back up to where they ended the season. To me, that's why I gave it to him.
Were you mad? Well, not mad, but did you see? You understood Giannis getting it though? You were good with his season too.
Oh yeah. I mean, I understand. I understand why he got it and he deserved it. It wasn't that he wasn't deserving. So no, I definitely get that. And plus, we've got a little bit of Harden fatigue as well. Yep. So that played a part into it also.
Could you imagine if this cat had really won 3 straight MVPs? Because he was pretty much second place in the last 3 years. Has anybody ever won that many straight?
Not straight. So. No, not straight. Now, the other thing that was funny to me, the 6th Man of the Year award. Explain to me how Lou Williams and Montrezl Harrell are on the same team. We're both nominated for 6th Man.
I saw your tweet, and I meant to respond in regards to it, but I think that speaks more to how trash the rest of these cats was coming off the bench. I mean, these cats, them two brought energy. They did ball. I didn't see a lot of Clippers games. I can't front. I mean, I heard about Lou Will doing his thing. I didn't know Montrezl Harrell was doing as much. But I kind of like them. I should have pulled up the voting on that. Who else got votes? There were no other good 6 men.
It was who was the third? Who was the third finalist? Lou Williams, Montrezl Harrell. Shit, I can't even think of the third person. But Lou Will. I mean, that they need to almost change the name on that award to his name.
Him and Jamal Crawford, because they both got 3. Yeah. So if he gets a 4th one, shout out to him. I kind of thought D'Angelo Russell. Is that his name? Yeah, D'Angelo Russell should have got a play for that most improved player.
I was just about, you took the words right out of my mouth. What you think about the most improved player? I mean, Siakam got it, but I thought, to me, it was D'Lo, because D'Lo did make an All-Star team this year.
Because D'Lo's career was pretty much on life support when he left the Lakers. Life support. They weren't expecting nothing. Now, you hear the haters saying, well, only reason why he got that go was because Karis LeVert got hurt earlier this year. Okay, he got the minutes, but he did something with the minutes. It's a lot of cats in the NBA getting minutes and ain't doing shit with them. He balled. Yeah. D'Angelo Russell is a hooper. The Lakers look real stupid right now letting that cat walk, because that's exactly what they need on that team right now. I kind of felt like he should have got most improved player. Now, they said Siakam raised his average by 10 points, but I felt like it's a lot easier to improve when you're playing with, like, maybe the second or third, maybe the first best player in the league. You should get better. Yeah. D'Angelo ain't playing.
But also, you look at the rest of that Toronto team, no lottery picks on that team.
Yeah, that's true.
So, but another one that, it could have went either way. I just happen to prefer D'Angelo myself. I think Coach Bud deserved Coach of the Year. Outside of him, I thought Doc Rivers did a pretty good job.
Mike Malone.
Mike Malone in Denver. Nate McMillan in Indy. Did a good job. Well, pretty decent job with that team. Not so good in the playoffs, of course, but he did a good job keeping that team afloat in the top 4 of the West, or the East, rather, after Oladipo went down. But, it is what it is.
The awards went how they went. Rudy Gobert got Defensive Player of the Year. Public service announcement from your boys. If y'all hand that dude a Supermax, it's Utah.
So by Rudy Gobert getting Defensive Player of the Year, he will qualify for the Supermax. Not this year, of course, but is it next year or the year after?
Yeah, next year.
Whenever he qualifies for it, can be 5 years, $250 million. Yes, let me repeat it in case y'all didn't hear me correctly. 5 years, $250 million for Rudy Gobert.
Sweet Jesus, that's some good money.
What? Now, it seems like absurd amount of money, and I was thinking about this because we were thinking about the Supermax and how it's starting to affect these teams that they can't build because you got these guys signing up so much money. When the gambling stuff comes into play and the cap explodes, I think it's coming up for another explosion, then some of these numbers probably won't look as bad.
I don't give a damn if that cap go up $50 million a year per team. There is no way in God's green earth I am handing Rudy Gobert a Supermax, paying him $60 million 1 year.
This is okay. Look at it like
this. Just him.
But we got to look at it's inflation. Just like
it's inflation. Yeah.
The players who used to get 10 million, 8 to 10 million, they getting 15 to 20 now. So
this is an argument that we used to have on the side a lot. And, I've been saying for years, he gives me short answers because I'd be upset. Like, damn, that dude got 20 million a year. Dog, 20 ain't number 10 nowadays. Let it go. $20 million sounds like a lot of money to this day. But it's nothing, like you said. It's nothing. In today's prime, it's nothing. But it just sounds like a lot. So I guess 60 won't be bad then, I guess. But damn, Rudy Gobert?
The cap would have to be 200 million. You know what I'm saying, to justify it, to make this shit work. I heard Bobby Marks.
I like him.
saying that the cap next year is supposed to be like 150, 160 million.
It's what, 120 now?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, and that's without the gambling money coming into play. So, once you start factoring that in, then yeah, these contracts are going to balloon again.
Yeah.
And my son is 4.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Shout out to young Diego. All right, you ready to get I don't have nothing else. Do you think that cat should have won for Milwaukee Executive of the Year? Seemed like somebody was better.
What did he do?
Right. I'm trying to figure out. I mean, he went and got Mirotic. Okay. He traded for Bledsoe.
And signed him to what
Too
right
much
now?
money.
Too much damn money.
I'm thinking that's it. Yeah. I felt like it was other people that were better than him in the front offices. I'm having a hard time thinking of who right now, but I'll do some homework later on. But let's get to it. Let's get this on free agent stuff. Man, I am so ready for Sunday. When it's all said and done, I'm ready for it. Teams with the most cap space right now. Boston can get up to 34 million. Brooklyn can get up to 2 max slots. Chicago got 23. Dallas got 28. Indiana can get up to 33. The Clippers can get up to 2 max. It's money out there. And I was thinking about it. I think I said something to you last night. Everybody keeps saying what the Lakers going to do. People are talking like the Lakers are basically going into Walmart and locking the doors, and they get to pick whatever they want. Don't really work that way. It's everybody's shopping at the same store. Everybody's shopping, and everybody got money. So I guess let's go over the main storylines. I just asked you 100 on it. Is Golden State keeping KD and Clay on them 5-year max? Come, let's say 4th of July. Are both of them Warriors next week?
Clay will be. I'm not as certain this week as I was last week about KD. Now that some of this injury stuff is coming out, and so we'll see how that go. If you had to ask me last week, I would have said it's probably 70-80% chance KD stays. Now it's probably more like 50-50.
Yep, I felt the same way because I was like, at this point, you hurt. How could you leave 221 on the table? I don't care how much money I'm making off the court. That's good money, and I can rehab. That's like me and you getting hurt at the same time. We can rehab together, and we get paid. So, yeah,
and
I'm
also,
not sure.
I heard last week, and I'm not sure how true it was, or if it was another sources, post or whatever, but if Golden State is willing to actually sign him to the Supermax, allow him to rehab, and then if he wants to move, be able to get some pieces for him. Yeah, you ain't gonna get equal value for him, but you'll get something for him. I really can't see that. I really can't see that happening. But it depends on how they write the contract up.
I was about to say, can they write that saying like, "Hey, when I'm healthy, I gotta trade me to the Knicks"?
Oh, I guess I'm thinking about like a no trade clause or whatever. But if he wants to be traded,
that makes sense. Yeah, he could put a no trade clause in there, but I wouldn't. Jalen Rose said it last week. I ain't putting my destiny in nobody else's hands like that. You making money off the court. You done seen real money, so I don't trust that. All right. So if we're both not sure about KD at this point, it's still out there to go to one of them New York teams. Is he going? Where is he going with Kyrie if he goes next week? Knicks or Brooklyn?
I'm not so sure he goes with Kyrie anymore.
Oh.
If he does leave, well, because they got RJ Barrett now.
This is kind of simple to me. It's real simple. Because they were 6 last year, and D'Angelo Russell was the lead guard. You take him out, put Kyrie Irving in, and you add Kevin Durant, keep everything else. They got to be the top 3 in the East. Well, he ain't playing next year. But I'm not messing with New York if these cats the infrastructure's already there in Brooklyn, if I'm him.
I'll say this about that theory. We said the same thing with Boston. We're just going to plug Gordon Hayward and Kyrie Irving back in. We'll be straight.
Who was they starting small forward last year? Jared Dudley? I think.
I don't know who it was, but to me, it's the same It's the same Boston situation. You had young guys that were balling.
Yeah.
You bring young Kobe into the picture, it's not going to be the same.
That's my concern. That's my concern in regards to him leaving Steph Curry. you're basically gonna leave young Kobe as the babysitter for a year.
Mhm.
For 1 year, he's in charge of the young boys. Supposed to hold it down until I get back. Y'all saw how that worked out in Boston this past year, right? You saw how it worked out.
Exactly. So
That concerns me.
yeah, I mean, I think Kyrie is definitely going to Brooklyn. But I don't think we can just say, hey, plug him in, and then they'll be straight. It, if I had a list right now, I'll still say KD, 1 Warriors, 2 Knicks, and then Brooklyn.
Okay. Well, we definitely gonna know soon. All right, what way is Boardman gonna go? Kawhi.
I think he stays.
Yeah, I think he stays too. I really do.
Maybe it may end up being on a short deal, but I think he stays.
Yeah, it makes sense. At least running back one more time.
Absolutely.
Because outside of Danny Green, you're gonna have the same team back next year. He's the only person that's free. Mark Gasol wasted no time opting in today.
I know he didn't.
Leaving that 25.6. Knew that. So you're gonna have
and plus in a year where next year I think this thing is going to be so wide open. I don't think you can come into the season unless something crazy happens in free agency. Where like say for instance the Lakers get Kawhi or somebody. I don't think you can walk into the next season and say, hey, that's the clear cut favorite to win. No, hands down. I don't think we're looking at one of those years. So if I'm Kawhi, yeah, I definitely run it back and try to defend my title.
All right, that rolls into the next question. Do you expect the Lakers to get another star, or are they gonna split up that money? I don't see them getting. I mean, I think they're gonna find a way to get up to that max money, because all they gotta do is move them other 3 dudes, and their contracts aren't expensive, so they'll find a way. But I think
I hope they split it.
They should.
I hope they split it. Now, Jalen Rose actually brought up a good point that made me take a step back on this D'Angelo Russell thing.
I think that's the move.
He needs the ball in his hands to run the offense and to play his game. That's not going to happen in LA.
I didn't realize last year he was number 3 in usage. I mean, he had the ball all the damn time last year.
The ball. That's not going to happen in LA as long as Ramon is still playing.
Yeah.
And D'Angelo Russell is not a stand over there and spot up and wait to get the ball to shoot.
Mm-mm.
So that
is a concern.
That does make me take a step back.
And then if he goes out west, he ain't never making another All-Star team.
Oh no. I mean
that's over. Somebody got to get hurt. Like a lot of people got to get hurt.
Yeah, because guard is deep out there.
Yeah. That's a wrap.
So if they're not going to get a max dude like Kawhi or Kyrie or Jimmy, which right now does not look like that's going to be the case.
If they got 27, you think Kimba would mess with him? I wouldn't hand him the full 27 though. I mean, he's worth the money, but if that's the case, I might as well split that up. If that's the case.
Yeah. I mean, one thing you can say about Kimba, because the only thing that concerns me about getting a third max dude is, okay, we saw LeBron get hurt for an extended period of time for the first time last year in his whole career. He is getting up there in age, so we don't really know what the future holds in regards to that. AD has an injury history. We'll take Kyrie. He has injury history.
Absolutely.
Okay. If you bring in a third max dude and you have an injury problem, the rest of your roster is toast.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that concerns me. That's why I think that they should try to split the money up as best they can. Now, if they're going to go after D'Lo at 20 a year and then split up the other, 10, 12 million, and then, hey.
It need to be 20, but I keep hearing they're going to go like his max is 27. I'm not featuring his max. I got 20, 21 at the most.
If I'm going to pay D'Angelo Russell 27, I'm going to talk to Kemba Walker first.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm going to talk to him first because he can play, even though he's smaller in stature, he can play off the ball to me better than D'Angelo Russell can.
I was about to ask you, they keep saying, is he that much smaller than Kyrie? Kimba?
I mean, they're about 6 feet, right? Yeah, they're about 6 feet, give or take.
They keep talking about how small he is. I'm like, shit, Kyrie not that much bigger than him, though.
No, he not.
So, okay. All right. What's starting to concern me in free agency? I done got a big concern. Philly.
Okay.
Are they gonna be able to keep it together?
Only thing that I think, because I'm not buying any of these Houston rumors about Jimmy Butler.
We're gonna talk about that
I'm
foolishness.
not buying that shit at all.
Yeah.
I'm expecting that 1201 Philly to offer Jimmy Butler not a penny less than the full max, 5 years, 190.
Yeah.
The only question mark to me is Tobias Harris.
Yeah.
Tobias Harris, and then of course you got JJ Redick that needs to be re-signed or that needs to be addressed. I think they got one more.
The thing about that, I was reading the other day, they got their bird rights, the three of them, so they can go over the cap to pay them.
Right.
So the owners just gotta be willing to cut the check.
And at this point, you've trusted the process for this long, so shit, you might as well. You know, you look at what Philly did this year. That damn shot Kawhi hit, bounced around the rim how many times before it finally went down? Philly could have very well been in the same spot that the Raptors was in the finals to win the title. Because we saw how Milwaukee kind of crumbled in the second round. Yep. Philly could have very well beat Milwaukee and been in the finals.
Is Ben working out, dog?
I haven't seen Ben this summer as of yet, so hopefully that's a good sign.
I'm just speculating. You think he's shooting the ball?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I do. Because I like Ben. Ben's got some dog in him. Ben does want to get better. I don't think he can sit around for another year. He knows the holes in his game. He hears it. He knows it. He know what he can and cannot do. He know what he need to do. I think he's working on it this time.
I want to see Philly run it back. But they need Tobias Harris. I would come at him with. I'm not giving him $32 million a year.
Yeah, I'm not paying him max. I'm not paying him max money.
In that case, I might be on some go out there and see what you can get. Now, right. I know he's been a mercenary, basically. He done played on like 5, 6 teams. So maybe he will go chase that. But I can't – I wouldn't be able to bring myself to handing him that type of bread, dog. I couldn't do it.
I don't know if he now I'm questioning whether he even wants to come back to Philly because, you know, I know I sent it to you, but he had an interview, where he talked about fit. They asked him what's going to be one of the main things he's looking for in free agency. He talked about fit. He wants to play on the team that runs up and down the court, gets up and down, and shoots threes. Well, they can't really do that in Philly when Embiid on the court. Now, when Embiid's off the court and he's hurt, you see them running. You see Ben Simmons taking control, running shit, and they run it. But when Embiid's on the court, you don't really see that. So I wonder if he was more or less saying, I don't know if Philly is the fit for me, and I'm gonna be looking somewhere else. The question is,
that was a bit of gamesmanship. I thought that was. I know y'all not necessarily talking max, but I could leave otherwise. But at the same time, his case is kind of hard to me because I'm like, cuz you disappeared a lot in the playoffs.
Exactly. That's why I can't get max money.
Yeah.
So let me throw this scenario to you for Tobias Harris.
Yeah.
Because we know next year, we didn't kind of look at the list, people. Next year, the free agent class is shit. What if Tobias Harris signs a 1-year deal, go play with Golden State?
This year?
They got a small forward they need a small forward and a shooting guard.
They don't have space this year though.
They don't have no money?
You know, they would have once they pay Clay, KD would still have his cap hold. Them cap holds be the thing. So they would unless he took a real haircut.
Yeah, I'll say he'd have to take one of those injury exceptions that I think you were talking about
and
last
week. That's like $8 to $9 million.
Yeah, that won't be enough.
So, yeah. I mean, now he could sit there and try to cash in 2020 because with what that free agent class is looking like, I don't think he'd have a problem getting the max next summer from anybody. But technically, take the 1-1 with Philly.
Yeah.
Take the 1-1 with Philly. I mean, I think two things need to happen that's outside of free agency. Ben Simmons needs a jump shot, and Joel Embiid needs to drop about 20, 25 pounds. Those two things happen. I mean, I like that Philly team. I like that team a lot, and they got a dog in them. So I think it's on the table for them to get it done this year too. So can Milwaukee bring all these dudes back, dog?
No.
Okay. It's 3 dudes on this list. Which one's coming back?
Chris Middleton better be a priority. You know, for that team, he better be a priority.
I think we were talking about last week, and I told you what I wouldn't do. And you was like, well, no, they got to. And then I was hearing today, they was like, if they don't, not today, this week, they were saying if they don't come in him with the full 5-year max,
He gone.
he gone. Because, I mean, you got Giannis who's sitting there looking like, okay, if y'all not keeping my all-star partner, what am I here for?
Right.
Chris Middleton's not worth the 5-year max, people, but he's in a good spot.
Chris Middleton is the new Joe Johnson.
Yes, he is.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey, people, Joe Johnson, y'all saw what he did Sunday. That's ISO Joe.
You know what I'm saying? But when Joe Johnson was 27 years old, we was like, he getting paid how much?
But they were bidding against themselves. And I guess the difference is we didn't have an MVP that was looking at us like, y'all better give Joe that money.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
He ain't got no choice. You know, how they going to tell Giannis? Yeah, we couldn't do it, man. We let him walk. So you go ahead and plug Tony Snell in. You're going to be good. Nah, so he going to be back. Lopez is more interesting to me, and I heard Brogdon is probably going to get a $20 million offer from Chicago. I'd let him walk $20 million.
Yeah, I believe that when I see it. Now, if you would have told me that they were going to offer him that before they drafted Kobe White, then maybe I would entertain it.
Well, you know, they keep talking that stuff like the homie was talking the other day. He could play off the ball, and Chicago got money ain't nobody about to take. But I'm not, you know, that restricted stuff. Maybe they're sitting there putting that out there to try to mess with Milwaukee to make them have to match that deal.
And a lot of people –
I wouldn't match it.
And a lot of teams know that. There are going to be some teams that try to hurt Milwaukee because they know they can't pay all these guys. They can't.
Right.
So Milwaukee going to have to get creative and prioritize. I think Brook is going to end up being gone.
Somewhere. Somebody got $8 to $10 million for him because he can shoot threes.
Exactly. I think they'll re-sign Chris Middleton. Depending on what kind of offer Brogdon gets somewhere else, that could be 50-50. But
Eric Bledsoe, please tell me you're shooting jump shots. I mean, like, right now. You cannot make the type of bread you making, and they say, you know what, we're not going to play you in the fourth quarter. Go and have a seat, dog. It's not going to work. Not going to work. And I don't blame him at all. Eric jumped on that deal ASAP because dead in the middle of the playoffs. He didn't want to talk to nobody else. I'm taking this right now. Y'all got a pen?
Clutch Sports, baby. Clutch Sports.
Shout out to Rich Paul. All right. I'm gonna skip over and we're gonna go back to Houston because we need to talk about them last. What do you think Boston gonna do?
As far as what? Because nobody coming there.
Yeah, I keep hearing Kemba, but I'd rather see him in Dallas with them young guys, I think, than I don't want him to stay in Charlotte. I'm from North Carolina. I just don't want to see this cat waste his prime down there. I mean, yeah, Mike hooking you up with all the retros, but if you got bread, you can get retros. You're losing in Charlotte. You're losing. I can't see a man taking this much bread just to lose. I can't.
He seems ready to do it. He seems ready to give money back to stay there and lose.
Hey, can I make a rule on this show? If he takes that Supermax, we never mention his name again on this show.
If he takes the Supermax, why?
Yep. Because he's basically saying he's okay with losing forever.
I mean, now I lose for the Supermax. You know what I'm saying? Let's because
you're competitive as hell. Come on. You just straight willing to lose for the next. So basically, you're going to lose your entire career. He's made the playoffs twice. Now, you're super rich. But there's no winning, dog. None.
It ain't no guarantee I'm going to win anywhere else I go either.
Ain't no guarantee. Yes, that is $80 million more than anybody else could pay me.
We ain't talking 5 or 10 million. 80. We talking $80 million.
Hey, $80 million to go a long way in North Carolina.
It's exactly.
A long way.
Exactly. Long
he can buy a whole subdivision on every house.
Shit. Fuck a subdivision. Go buy a couple acres of land somewhere on the outskirts, man. Build you a crib. You good. Now,
I just hate to see cats lose forever. And I like Kemba. I'd love to see him on the stage in the playoffs at some point.
Yeah, you're right. The problem is in the mistake that he has made, though, is he's come out when he didn't need to come out, saying he would take less to stay.
Yeah,
that's the problem I have with him wanting to stay there and lose if you're gonna stay there and lose, then give me all my money.
Yeah, I think the Supermax would be 38. He talking about I'll take less. Mike probably come if it's 38. Mike probably coming with 28. A $10 million haircut.
Man, you might come in with the 28 and a case of retros, like you just said.
All the colors down.
Whatever you want, Kimber.
They're gonna give him a finish line card. You'll walk in to get whatever one.
a case of retros or some of them carpenter jeans might be wearing. Boot cut.
Hell no. Let's talk about the bullshit before we get up out of here.
All right.
Daryl Morey.
This cat is funny, man.
I didn't hit you last night with it. But no, I think I hit you the other day. Like, okay, how they gonna sign Jimmy if they ain't got no money? Like, people, one thing the two of us do, we're sports fans, yes, but we pay attention to the business a little bit more. See, folks be reading the headlines, they be like, oh, that can happen. Houston ain't got no money. They got like no money. So you got one dude making 20, one dude making 38, and another dude about to make 35. Jimmy's not coming for less than the max. You know, if the max is 32, Jimmy might take 31 and a half. He'll help you out with $500,000 maybe. But that's it.
And you better find a way to get him that back on the back end.
Some kind of way. So, you know, this talk, and Daryl Morey's public with it. Like, yeah, we're going to bring our starting five back, and we're going to bring somebody else. I'm sitting there looking like, okay, I know a lot of people, you know, when they start believing their own bullshit, you can be damn near unstoppable when you believe your own shit, but the money don't add up. How?
It don't, man. It don't. And they talking about this. Okay, so, and this is another thing, people, about only nothing wrong with watching Fox Sports and ESPN and what have you, but this is the problem with only relying on them to give you information. Because a lot of times you're being fed either wrong information or half truth. So Woj has been pushing this shit for the last couple of days, right? About them trading Eric Gordon and Capella and PJ Tucker, or a combination of those, for Jimmy Butler. Okay, the money is not going to add up, because come to find out, and this is one thing, you know, we, like you said, we like to study the contracts and the business side of it, but I didn't realize it's something called the base payer tax rule.
Yeah.
If they do this trade and Jimmy is signed to a super max before the trade, his $32 million ain't really counted as $32 million. It'll only be counted, I think they said, as Bobby Marks said, only like $20 million. So Philly would only get back one of the two players,
Capella, because he's at 20.
Why would you pair Capella with Joel Embiid?
Right.
You're not doing that. Okay. From the flip side, if you Daryl Morey, are you really thinking about putting Jimmy Butler in a locker room with Chris Paul and James Harden? They would
Tell
have.
me how that works. I need to know how that works.
They would have James Harden somewhere in the corner crying.
Now, I was thinking about it. Let me run this by you. Wouldn't it make sense just to run it back and make Chris Paul, even if he's at $40 million, the head of the second unit?
Yeah, especially
don't that make the most sense? You're stuck with him.
Yeah, because, and just like we was talking about last week with Toronto, and before they made the Kawhi trade, we were like, well, why not run it back? Because LeBron's gone. That was your only hurdle. Mm-hmm. With the Rockets, you've been eliminated 2 years by Golden State. They're not going to be that Golden State come next year.
Nope.
All right. Again, a wide open league, pretty much. Why not go ahead and run it back?
Yep.
I think that would be better. But I guess from his standpoint, from a GM standpoint, who knows what kind of pressure the owner is putting on him. We've lost 2 years in a row. Year before last, lost in the Western Conference Finals. This year we lost second round. You know, maybe it's some pressure on him to do something to change the roster up, to try to improve. He can do all of that.
Mid-level. They didn't even spend their mid-level last year. So they got that. Man, I'd probably re-sign Austin Rivers, start him over Chris Paul. Let Chris Paul run the second and the fourth quarter. Mm-hmm. Well, then, Harden going to want the ball in the fourth. But you really stuck.
What Kobe tell y'all? And we know it, too. We know it. We've seen it the last couple of years. that system is not going to win you a championship.
It's not.
So they can mix and match pieces, get people to take haircuts, use exceptions or whatever. If Mike D'Antoni is still the coach, they're gonna be in the same damn boat, just with different faces.
Yeah, they're screwed in that regard, and they're clearly not like looking at getting rid of him. It's like he's the problem, but we're gonna run it back. We're gonna go into the tax. When Morey said that the other day, I'm sitting there. If I was an owner watching TV, I'm like, whoa, whoa, you ain't paying that shit. What you talking about? We going into the tax?
We're already paying Chris Paul $40 million.
Yeah. So, and Chris Paul, shout out to you and bless your heart for coming out saying I'm gonna be in Houston next year. And I'm happy about it. Homie, if they could have found somebody to take you, you'd have been gone. You'd have been gone.
Yeah, and I don't think he would have been mad about it if it was to a contender. But only thing I think that they maybe can do is maybe try to flip Capella.
Yeah, they got to move him. I keep Eric Gordon. I'd ride that out. I mean, I know I'm normally against keeping an expired contract, but you gotta take your shot at this point. That situation is almost like the Draymond thing. You kind of got to ride it because if they get Clay back, I think it's 8 months come next February. If they're in contention, if they get in at 8, you think anybody want to see them at 8? Anybody?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you kind of got to ride it out. You got to. So I'm not sure what they're gonna do. Chris Paul needs to find the fountain of youth. Find them 2 steps he done lost. But that's life. You get older. Shit.
It happens, and you got people like LeBron who are really clouding. He's clouding people's judgment. People don't play that great that long.
No, they don't. People, they don't. This dude's going in the year 18. People don't play that long, and they don't dunk on people in year 17. It doesn't happen.
Even if you look at Chris Paul, and we talk about his decline. Even at his age, he is still better than a lot of cats that we have seen. Yeah. He's still better than a lot of because he came into the league only a year after LeBron them did.
05? No, he's in 05.
Maybe 2 years. Okay, he's 03 and 05.
Yeah, we were supposed to have him.
Yeah, he ain't that far behind. You know what I'm saying? And he still is playing up to at least an all-star level.
Yeah.
Maybe not that superstar supermax level that he was at some point, but he's still playing at a pretty decent level. But yeah, they got to do more this year.
Yeah, we're gonna see what happens. Let's get ready to get up out of here. I got 2 shout-outs before we go. Shout out to that boy John Wall. I didn't recognize you the other night at the NBA Awards. I didn't know who he was. I had the volume down, and I was looking like, who in the fuck is that? I didn't know who he was.
He was so saucy. He was so saucy.
Yeah, shout out to that boy John Wall, and shout out to that boy Melo, man. Leave that cat alone. Y'all messed up his whole day. His wife was on TV Sunday shouting out everybody but him. He did everything he could to get back in the house. And now y'all messing with him, these videos and shit. He got to go on TMZ and respond. Shout out to that boy Melo, man. Keep your nose clean, Melo. You worked hard. Stay in shape, too. I think they got a spot for you in L.A. coming up. Stay in shape.
If he wants to come off the bench.
He ain't got no choice. Would you fuck with JR again, dog, after that game 1? I don't know if I could.
What has JR been doing this year he's been off?
I don't know.
He
played 11 games last year.
He could have went vegan or he could have got back on the hen dog.
He's only going to be like $1 million, so. And he's on Clutch Sports, so. Everybody on Clutch is getting a job this summer. Nobody's gonna be starving. They're all gonna eat, all of them.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see. I saw Jordan Clarkson got he's not free agent anyway, so he don't really matter. But yeah, he went back.
Shout out to the Kingmaker, man. He looking out. KCP gonna get some money somewhere, probably the Lakers. One of the Morris twins. I don't know if he got both of them, but one of them gonna get some bread somewhere.
Yeah, I'd rather have the one. Is it Markeith, the one that was in Boston? I'd rather have him.
Yeah, he's a better shooter. The one that was with Washington ended up with Oklahoma City. He's a stay-ready all-star, but that's about it at this point.
Yeah,
that's really about it. Oklahoma City's trying to move Steven Adams. Good luck. Good luck.
It'd be different if it was an expiring contract, but he still got like 3 years left on that deal.
Yeah, 2 or 3, and he disappears in the playoffs every year. Good luck.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I guess the thing, I was looking at the free agent list. We're about to get up out of here, but I was looking at that free agent list, and I was thinking, everybody keep talking about the Lakers like everybody else don't have spots available. Everybody else ain't got money. So
Yeah,
it's going to be very interesting next week.
But everybody else don't have AD and LeBron.
Yeah, but if I don't believe the narrative was true in regards to folks not wanting to play with Ron, I don't believe that. I don't believe that at all. How can you not want to play with an unselfish cat? It'd be totally different if he was Melo, and Melo's my guy. It'd be totally different. He's out there dribbling the air out the ball. Ron trying to get everybody paid. He don't get you shots, so I never believed that. So
and I thought that I think it was a little overblown as well, because we're really only talking about two things. People say that because Kyrie wanted to leave and do his own thing, and how did that work out?
And y'all do know Kyrie is a different cat.
Exactly. And then you had what was the other thing? Oh, and then you had Paul George not even taking a meeting with him. So those are really the only two things that people point at and say people don't. You're saying people don't want to play with LeBron. Paul George, I think he made that decision. I don't think LeBron had anything to do with him making that decision. Not to speak with them. He wanted to stay and help Russ.
Yeah, and they had 5 years, 190 in front of him.
There you go.
So he took it.
And he took it, and it kind of worked out.
Yeah. It's a lot easier to, disappear in the playoffs when you got a dude who's going to get blamed every time in front of you. So he took the bread, and I don't blame him. I'm glad it worked out that way. The NBA needs parity, so let's just come back on here in a couple of weeks, and we're going to see what's really happening, see who's here, see who's on them different teams, and go from there, man.
Yeah. I mean, and Paul George came in third in MVP voting.
Yeah. Till both his shoulders went out, he had it going. He had it going.
Absolutely. Happen to be looking on Twitter right now, people. This just dropped. Charles Oakley and KD hanging out in New York City.
I ain't never been real big on Golden State because I felt like them grabbing him was suckerish, but I couldn't leave them to go to the Knicks, and I'm not healthy. The whole myth of them not needing him, that's out the window. That's over with. You can't nobody say that no more. Mm-hmm. Jordan had that first dynasty. They can come back and try to run 3 more off easily.
If he's what he was, that remains to be seen.
Yeah, that does. That
remains to be seen. Yeah, so like you said, we'll know here in a couple of days. By the time we see y'all again in 10 days or so, 2 weeks basically. Yeah, it's gonna be 2 weeks. So we're not coming on next week, the week after.
Yeah.
So we will see y'all then. That'll be the 11th. We should know these cats are going.
You about 6'3", right?
Right.
If Cam Newton would offer you $1,500, you'd move seats?
Not for a 10-hour flight.
$1,500 cash?
I purposely, when I fly now, I do not book regular coach seats. I don't sit in first class either. Okay. But I have to get the seats with the extra leg room because it's not happening.
Gotcha.
So, and then plus that could have been a dude who didn't really even need the money.
Yeah, I figured it was a cat who had the bread. Like, come on.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Exactly. So, I think we'll come to find out Cam missed his flight.
Yeah, he did. He had to take that connecting flight.
That was the only flight that he could get back. So everybody's saying, well, why he ain't sitting in first class or why he ain't booked? Look, man, if you miss your flight, you got to get back home.
You miss your flight. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Free Robbie Gold, too.
If he would have came with 5 racks, then we've been different. Hey, man, let me tell you something about Robbie Gold. Robbie Gold either kicks for the San Francisco 49ers or he doesn't kick this year. It's his choice.
Y'all some real suckers for that.
Hey, man.
Kicker, dog. Y'all holding a kicker hostage.
Hey, man. It's leverage. If the Chicago Bears need a damn kicker bad.
They do. Yeah, they
do. And we like doing business with Chicago, with the Bears. So if they want them, they know how to pick up the phone and call us.
Free Robbie Gold, and I'm out.
Okay. All right. Tell these people to reach out on social media, Uncle Hate.
At ReK6000. Holla at me. I talk sports.
Robbie Gold better bring his ass to training camp. Hey, holla at your boy. I'm Diego Barich. You can find me on Twitter as well. Don't forget, again, check us out on the AA Sportscast Twitter, Facebook, IG pages. We on YouTube as well. Also, don't forget subscribe to us on either podcast platform, whether it be iTunes or Spreaker. And shout out to the Urban Arena crew, Get With It Sports, Nicole Monique, Left-Handed, Kane and Ice Show, and
Big
last
Q.
but not least, Big Q. Got some big things coming for the upcoming football season. So y'all be on the lookout for that. Again, we are not going to be here next week. We'll be on Twitter and interacting, but we're not going to do a show next week. So we'll see y'all the week after that. Y'all have a good 4th of July. Be safe. Look at the fireworks. Drink plenty, but don't get in no fucking trouble.
Uber. Don't
You know
drive.
Just don't do it.
Yeah, and watch out
Y'all
for
be
them
easy.
dudes robbing Kroger, man. Hold it down.
Y'all be easy. We'll holler at y'all next week. Peace.
Peace.